Hi everyone, I am Oneika and I really love to travel by myself. I know that for a lot of people it's not an option because they get bored, they're scared of being alone, or they figure that somebody will say,
"You're the biggest loser for traveling on your own."
But for me, it's quite the contrary. I love traveling by myself because I love the freedom that it brings. I don't have to travel on anybody else's schedule. If I want to sleep in until noon, I can do that. If I want to get up at the crack of dawn to hike a mountain, I can do that too. Yeah, it allows me to do what I want when I want. That's primarily why I like solo travel. I think that a lot of the reluctance to travel solo stems from the fact that people are afraid of being alone. But here's the thing, traveling solo does not mean that you have to travel alone. So what I wanted to do in this video is give you some tips for how to meet people when you travel solo. You ready? Let's go. Join a walking tour or some other type of day tour. It's kind of tradition, like whenever I travel on my own. I always like to scout out the free walking tours in the city that I'm in and do it the first day that I get there. The best thing about doing a walking tour is not only that you'll have the opportunity to meet other travelers and be surrounded by other people, but also that you get to know the town or you get to know your surroundings right away. So I traveled to Dublin, Ireland on my own, and once again, the first thing I did was to go on a walking tour. I actually met a bunch of travelers from Israel. And they were really, really nice. And, you know, we really got along well during the walking tour. And near the end, they suggested to me, they said, "Hey, do you want to come with us to go see Riverdance?" And you know what? That wasn't even something that I considered doing in Dublin. So I accepted their invitation. I got to do something really cool. And I also had the opportunity to meet some really cool people. Stay in a hostel. Now, I know you're probably thinking,
"Ew, Oneika, I'm not trying to stay in a hostel dorm with 45 other people."
And listen, I totally get where you're coming from. But if you are willing to step out of your comfort zone, staying in a hostel is not only a fantastic way to save money, but also a great way to meet people, particularly if you are traveling on your own. Why? Well, the whole hostel culture is kind of built around this aspect of community. You'll often find that hostels have common rooms where all travelers can congregate. It's a great way to kind of put yourself out there because in my experience, people who are staying in hostels are genuinely very keen on meeting others. Hostels also almost always run events like pub nights and quiz nights, so they are a really great way not only to meet people but to engage in fun activities. If you are like me, where you are past the stage where you would be willing to sleep in a dorm with 20 strangers, rest assured, you can also either stay in a private room in a hostel, because many hostels have private rooms that even come with their own ensuite, or if you choose to stay in a hotel, you can always pop by one of the hostels in your destination and ask the reception whether or not they're having any events that you can participate in. Go to a meetup. Another excellent way to meet people when you're traveling by yourself is to go to meetups. Meetups.com, for example, is a whole website dedicated to events that are being hosted by like-minded people who are into a particular hobby. So if you're into knitting, for example, and in Paris for the week, you can see on meetups.com if there are any knitting meetups. If you are into soccer, or
Football for you Europeans,
you can, again, go onto meetups.com and search the place that you're going to be in, and you can see whether or not there's going to be a soccer meetup. I actually have a girlfriend who traveled on her own to Russia. Shout out to my girlfriend. And while she was there, she found a meetup on meetups.com of Russians and international people who were trying to connect and speak English and Russian, I think. The possibilities are really endless. Again, if you are looking to meet folks because you're afraid of feeling alone, what better way to not only engage with your new environment or destination, as well as meet people, than to, you know, do something that you really like doing. You can always check to see if there's a book club meeting, or if there is a running group, or if there's like a Trekkie meeting, or Scientologist meeting. Well, maybe not Scientology. Tinder. So before you laugh or raise a skeptical eyebrow, I will say that though I have not tried to meet people via Tinder myself, I have been told by very trusted individuals and confidants that Tinder is an excellent way to meet people when you are traveling on your own. Swiping left, swiping right, you might just find someone with whom you can spend the night. Poet. Yeah, so Tinder, it can be a great way to find a little travel love. You know, you want to have a little bit of love on the road. Or alternatively, it can be a really good place to meet somebody cool and have it be completely platonic. Use Facebook groups and internet forums to connect with other travelers prior to getting there. So I am part of a number of travel groups on Facebook, and I've found them an amazing way to connect with other travelers, especially when I'm traveling on my own. I'm part of this amazing group called No Madness Travel Tribe, and it is a group, it has about 10,000 members on it, and the members are basically all over the world. Basically, whenever I'm going somewhere, I can essentially just send out what they call a tribe bat signal and reach out to people to see if anybody is going to be in the same city I'm going to be in at the same time. I can write in the group, for example, "Hey y'all, I'm gonna be in Bangkok from April 26th to April 30th. Is anybody around and interested in meeting up?" And it is incredible. I mean, with 10,000 members, you are sure to get a response. I traveled to Brussels, Belgium on my own a few years ago, and I put out a tribe bat signal, and it turned out that another girl from the group was there, and we actually hung out on one of the days that I was in Brussels, and it was great. Like, we connected through a common love of travel. We connected because of the fact that we're in the same travel group, and we still communicate to this day. Break bread with locals. Literally. So there are websites that actually connect travelers with local people who are willing to cook them a meal. There is cookening.com and mealsharing.com. Meeting local people in the places that you go to is such an important thing. I think that it's a fabulous opportunity to get to know more about the culture and to get to know more about the way people think, what they value, what they love, you know, kind of getting that insider info that a guidebook won't necessarily be able to give you, or another tourist won't be able to give you because they don't know the place intimately. Sitting down with people for a meal, I think the concept is amazing just because people, I have found in my experience, are a lot more relaxed over food. They are satiating their appetite. They are probably drinking some sort of spirit, yeah, which makes most people feel a lot more relaxed. And again, going into somebody's home and being able to see the way they live and eat the food that they eat, I think is just a very enriching cultural experience. It's also a great way to ensure that you are having that human contact that you may crave.
You should do it.
And finally, one of the best ways to meet people is to straight up approach them. Travel is all about broadening your horizons and putting yourself out there. So what better way to meet people than to just go right up to them and to introduce yourself? Now, it may take a little bit of practice because you don't want to be creepy and you don't want to freak or creep people out. But I think that simply introducing yourself to someone, especially another solo traveler, I think that's always a great idea. I feel like solo travelers, we're all kind of in the same boat where we obviously enjoy traveling, but sometimes we want to travel with somebody else, or sometimes we want to share our experiences with another person. So that is it for my tips for meeting other people when you travel solo. I just want to reiterate that solo travel is a beautiful thing, and I think that it's something that everyone should do at some point in their lives. I also want to say that
traveling solo doesn't necessarily mean traveling alone.
So hopefully you like these tips. Hopefully you will use them on your travels. I would love to know what you think of these tips. Are they something that you have done? For those of you who have never traveled solo, is it something that you would consider? And what is the biggest thing that is holding you back? Anyway, let me know in the comment box down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, people! And I will see you later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!